Hi guys, Josh here. Welcome to Frames Per Second. We're in Osaka with Claire, and we're doing a photo shoot today. We're shooting some Cinestill and some Superia 800 Venus, and I'm about to go on the train to get to the airport because I need to go home. But yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so I didn't end up filming as much behind the scenes footage as I wanted to because basically had to get the shoot done as soon as possible because after that I was on the train to the airport to come back to Australia. So yeah, there wasn't much time and I do feel the shoot was a little bit rushed, but other than the lack of time and prep, it actually turned out pretty good, at least in my opinion anyway. And so yeah, here we're shooting Superia 800 Venus, which is one of my favorite film stocks and probably my favorite film stocks for nighttime, at least for portraits at night. It has great color replication. It's quite accurate to the colors that you see in person, and the grain's pretty good too. It's not crazy grainy and it's actually quite usable, and there's still a decent amount of latitude with it as well. So Claire basically came from work to the shoot, and like I said, it was a rather rushed shoot. We're doing 3 outfits. I think we had under 2 hours, and there was a fair bit of walking around with some of the locations. But yeah, this was kind of arcadey kind of place, which was full of really cool colors and lights and whatnot, and so we actually did get quite a fair bit here. Because yeah, there was a lot that you could do, a lot you could play with, and yeah, I wish I could have played with the posing a bit more. Some of my composition isn't that great, some of the has too much headroom, or is just a bit too much to one side or another, which I don't really know why. This shot's out of focus. But yeah, I don't know, every now and then, for some reason, my framing's just a little bit off, and I don't know if I'm just looking through the viewfinder in a weird angle or not. But yeah, here we have the Cinestill. And yeah, the Cinestill has heaps of play when it comes to editing, and you can still make it quite usable because that shot was a fair bit underexposed. And while I know Cinestill is pretty hit or miss, I like it quite a bit. But the Superia 800 Venus, like obviously because its daylight balance was more accurate to what I was seeing on location on the day. But the Cinestill still wasn't that far off, and there's just always a nice texture to it that you don't get with regular stills film. If you've got arcades around where you are, go do some shoots around them if you can, especially if you don't have a studio space with a lot of lights and you want to play around with colors and whatnot. Arcades are usually pretty good with that, and if you have a decent concept and a fun model, then you're gonna have a decent time and get some fun images out of it too. If anything, yeah, I kind of do wish I had a bit more prep time and just a bit more time to shoot, because there are some frames where I felt like I was just shooting just to shoot and not really shooting because there was an image I liked. But overall, yeah, there was a lot of places around to play with. And Claire's just a good model and easy to deal with. And Claire's just a good model and easy to work with, so not much to complain. So one thing I'm kind of annoyed with myself is, with my Mamiya 645, I only had the waist level finder on. And part of that was because it is easier to see and focus with, but it's harder to frame when you're trying to do a portrait shot. Now if you're shooting like an RB or RZ67, the back rotates, so you don't have to worry about that. But with the Mamiya 645s, you kind of have to like look at it sideways and upside down, and yeah, it just makes framing so much harder. And with some of the shots, there's a bit too much of a tilt to it, and the horizons are off, and it just took longer to focus than it would if I had just my eye level viewfinder. But in saying that, the ground glass is just brighter when you're looking through the waist level finder, so it probably did help getting focus right, but some of the framing is off, which is a bit unfortunate. But here we are along the street. There's heaps of lights. I would have liked more time to play around the street. And if it was just a little bit less busy, I probably could have got some nicer shots, because some of it was just trying to avoid people in the crowds in the frame. And at this point, I wasn't paying attention to any of the footage I was recording. So yeah, I basically just had my camera recording, but I wasn't holding it. It was a really photogenic street with a lot of lights for a nice bokeh. My advice for shooting portraits with this is to find a decent source to be your key so that your model's face is nicely exposed, and then yeah, just find the bokeh in the background as well. And if you do want to play with colors, find the colored light, and yeah, if you want more of the color in it, I'd say don't overexpose. But for these shots, I was overexposing because, yeah, I wasn't too bothered about getting colors and whatnot. I just wanted to make sure everything was nicely exposed so I had some usable images. So the Superia 800 Venus, I had the meter set at 400 ISO just so that, yeah, it was overexposing a bit. The Cinestill, on the other hand, I kind of did have to shoot as if it was 800 speed, because the lens of the camera wasn't as fast, and I didn't want the shutter speed being too slow. And I did manage to get quite a few usable images out of it, which is good. But yeah, Claire was just a fun model to work with, and she actually is from Australia. She actually used to live in Brisbane, and we had actually met once very briefly, and I didn't realize that until we did start communicating about doing a photo shoot. But yeah, we had met once and just said hi to each other, and I think that was our interaction in Brisbane, just because we didn't know each other. And yeah, it's so weird that, yeah, just meeting up with somebody that you'd very briefly met once before, like 3 years later, yeah, that was just kind of a funny bit of serendipity. I did try messaging other models to see if they wanted to shoot around Tokyo and Kyoto and whatnot, but yeah, nobody really responded. But luckily Claire did, and I'm really glad she did, because I really like our photo shoot. And it was just really, it was great that I could do a photo shoot while I was over there, because Japan's really cool and full of cool locations and stuff that we just don't have here in Brisbane and even in Australia. And so I do kind of wish I shot more in this location, just because the background's really cool, the wall of LED lights that kept changing colors was really cool. And yeah, I wish I had more film, or at least more time to load more film to shoot more, because yeah, it's just really cool. But considering we had, yeah, less than 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half even, of actual shooting time, we did a pretty good job, and so I'm pretty happy with the results. Unfortunately, the shot's out of focus. It would have been great if it wasn't. Hey guys, hope you liked the video. Please let me know your thoughts on the images in the comments below. That is right. And feel free to like and subscribe, turn on those post notifications if you want to know when there's a new video. But anyway, I'm Josh, this is Claire, and it's been frames per second. Just get out there, shoot some film.